Hello, I'm Katie. I'm the social media manager.
And I'm Richard, and I'm an adoption counselor.
We work at the Cattery.
Yay!
So today we're going to talk, since Richard is our first guest, Sam is out of town right now. So Richard's filling in for Sam.
Hello.
So he's our first official guest on the podcast. He's an adoption counselor here at the Cattery, so he has all of the insider knowledge on how the adoption process works. So I figured we'd take this opportunity to ask him his experiences. I also asked you guys on Instagram and Facebook what you wanted to ask Richard. So I picked 2 questions from everyone who asked, and we will go over those as well. If you think of any more questions, feel free to put them in the comments. We'll answer them later. But first of all, first question for you, Richard, is how does the adoption process at the Cattery work? I feel like that's the most common question we get from random people online.
So with us here at the Cattery, the adoption process is you would come in. We are an appointment only, so you can email us, call us, and then we'll help set up an appointment for you. We also do only adopt out locally, so about an hour away, to help minimize the stress that it puts on the cats during their movement from a shelter aspect to their new home. So we are appointment only.
We did cover this too in a couple podcasts ago. We talked about how we only adopt out locally and why we do appointments. So if you guys missed that, I'll put the link in the description. So this is going to be specifically about the adoption process.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you have questions about that, we have the answer already. So moving on. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. So set up an appointment. You come in. We'll have one of us adoption counselors give you a tour of our shelter. We have a couple of different rooms to see. We have our adult room, which is a year and up. We have our teen room, which is 4 months to a year. And then we do have our FIV room, which is our feline immunodeficiency virus. We also do have a kitten room that's in the back of the teen room with their cute little kitties.
Right now, there's only one cat in there. Stashy's in there.
Stashy's very cute.
But in the thick of kitten season, we normally try to put a bigger litter in there. So hopefully Stashy gets adopted soon.
Oh yeah. We've had a couple of people coming in, seeing her, and
she's so great.
And they're like, "Oh, I love her so much. She's super sweet."
She is super sweet. So once they come in and they've had their tour, they normally have about an hour, right, to kind of hang out with the cats? Or do you guys not really rush it? How does that work?
I mean, we try not to rush it, only because we want to make sure that whoever it is that they're looking for specifically is, clicking.
Because they have the time to meet the cat.
Yeah, we're not really looking for someone who likes a certain color of cat, male, female. We like to make sure that, the cat likes the person who is wanting to adopt.
Yeah, and vice versa. I think one of the most unique things about the Cattery's adoption process is the adoption appointments, which we actually only started that in 2020.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's not something we used to do. It used to be sort of a free-for-all. Brianna remembers. It was a free-for-all. We just had people, you'd never know when people would walk in, and you just have to drop what you were doing. So the appointments, because we are a small staff, they have helped out immensely, and I feel like they make better matches. As an adoption counselor, what would you say? This is actually a question from Facebook. This is from Kiara Morton. She wants to know, how hard is it to be an adoption counselor?
So I would say being an adoption counselor, I wouldn't say it's really hard. We kind of do everything here and there. Of course, yes, we give tours and we do paperwork and everything for potential adopters, but we also kind of dabble somewhat in like the caretaker side of like
cleaning and stuff.
Yeah, cleaning, scooping, feeding, watering, transporting cats here and there.
Yeah.
To their new like either cages or rooms or whatever. Let me think.
But it's not super hard. I think I would say maybe the hardest part might be when I was an adoption counselor was getting attached to the cats. Because there are so many cats that are so easy to fall in love with. I remember that being like, it's like a bittersweet moment when they get adopted. It's like, oh, I'm so happy, I'm so sad.
Yeah, like it sucks because you won't really see them again, but you're glad that they found.
Yeah.
You're glad that they found their forever home.
Exactly. It's like, I hope I never see you again. I'm gonna miss you.
Like cookies and cream.
Oh, I miss them all the
Sooty.
time. Yeah, I know you didn't meet Kepler, but I think about Kepler all the time, and he comes up in my memories. He was such a great cat. Anyways, so yeah, Kiara, to answer your question, It's not super hard. I think it's more of an emotional thing.
100%.
Yeah. I think sometimes if you're not a super extrovert, it can be a little bit challenging as well.
Yeah.
Although I will say, I feel like all of our adoption counselors are pretty good at extroverting when they need to. So that's good.
Like, I've never been much of an extrovert, but it's like this type of quote unquote business or line of work. It's like, I love cats. I love taking care of cats. I like adopting them out. So that definitely does help.
It plays a big role in your ability to become an extrovert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's something that like I know that I can talk about, I know that I can do, so that helps.
Yeah. The confidence in doing it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Another question for you is, what is one piece of advice, or as many as you want, what is your advice for somebody who's looking to adopt a cat?
I would say really kind of understanding what you're getting into. Some people, whenever they're thinking about getting a pet, they're like, oh, maybe I might want to get a dog. And they're like, oh, no, dogs require a lot of maintenance. They need to be walked. You need to take them outside so they can use the bathroom. I mean, some people do keep their dogs solely inside. They have like a pee pad where they go to the bathroom on, totally fine. And then people think like, oh, I'll get a cat because, oh, they're low maintenance, which is to a point
semi-true,
but no.
Cats require a lot of maintenance too. That's a really good point.
Of course, cats, they can live 15 to 20 plus years. So that's something that you need to understand.
Time commitment,
you need to understand, of course, there's litter, there's food to think of, vet visits, shots. Of course, the regular with all pets, but it's really just trying to make sure that they're healthy, they're happy.
Yeah. Indoor cats, especially if your cat, which we recommend your cat stay indoors.
Oh, yes.
Keeping your indoor cat entertained, stimulated, happy, all that stuff, it does require maintenance. It requires you to have things like cat trees and toys and schedule time every day to play with them, make sure they're burning out all that energy. Because cats, they do have natural instincts to want to play and be crazy, like call it the zoomies. So yeah, cats, they're not just, and brushing, by the way. That's another one I just thought of.
Shedding, oh my
God. My stomach just growled really loud. I wonder if you could hear that. Anyways, brushing your cat, trimming their nails.
Yeah, trimming their nails. If you're not comfortable with that, of course, you can take them to your vet. Groomers, they can do it for you.
There's ways around that sort of stuff. But yeah, that's a really good point. I think that is a good piece of advice if you're thinking about adopting a cat. Is to really consider not only the time commitment, which Richard said was 15 to 20 years, but also the daily maintenance. Don't just assume cats are just throw them in a room and they're fine.
Yeah, they're not just there to be there.
Yeah. Some cats are fine with being little statues in your house, but most of them are kind of, Dewey sitting right
rambunctious and all over the place.
Dewey needs a lot of attention.
Oh yeah. And I was going to mention how you were talking about like cat trees and everything.
Yeah.
Cat trees can get expensive.
Yeah, they are, and you have to replace them. They do get worn out. They don't last forever, and they shouldn't last forever. They're meant for your cat to kind of tear up,
play with, enjoy, tear up. I mean, it's for them. It's for the cats. It's for them to scratch, lay on, rub themselves against.
Exactly.
They're going to get their hair all over them, which requires maintenance.
Yeah. Okay. Another question we had was, tell us about one of your favorite adoption stories.
So one of my favorite adoption stories, technically I was partially a part of. It was actually whenever I was at PetSmart, just this past weekend. We're at PetSmart Saturdays and Sundays. I was there. I had this young couple come in, and they had a cat at one point. But they moved to an apartment where they weren't allowed to have pets. So they ended up giving their pet to their parents. Okay. They live in the area. But they recently moved again to an apartment where they are allowed pets. So they came to PetSmart. They were looking around, seeing if anything clicked or whatever. But the guy mentioned that the cat that they gave to their parents, That was weird. He mentioned that cat was either pregnant or got pregnant and had kittens.
Oh,
And
no.
he said that they were thinking about taking one of them because one of them was a polydactyl
Ah,
on all fours.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, that's cool. So he mentioned that he was going to get that one, but he also mentioned, oh, I'm the kind of person where if I get one, I need to get the other.
Okay.
Because he wants them to be social, and whenever they go out of the
Yes.
house, he doesn't want them to be lonely.
Exactly.
And so they were looking around our cats that we have at PetSmart, and of course, I can see that there was no one really catching his eye. And I did mention, oh, okay, totally fine. We do have our main shelter area where we have lots and lots of more cats.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, oh, okay, yeah. So I called up, I set up an appointment for them.
Nice.
And then he asked, he was like, oh, do y'all have do y'all have an all white cat? And I'm like, oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And then I told him, I'll do you one better. We have
She's
an all white
polydactyl.
polydactyl.
Yes.
And then
Polly.
I told him it's only on the front two paws though.
Yeah.
I hope that's not a deterrent for you, you know, kind of just like joking around with him.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, no, it's okay. And then he ended up coming up here and he ended up adopting out Poppy.
Aww.
So I thought that was really cool.
That is so cute.
Where he was already getting a polydactyl. He
Yeah.
asked for an all white.
And
Just
she
so
was also
happens that all white happened to be a polydactyl.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that
Well,
was
good.
one of the more recent ones. But yeah, that was a real good one.
Well, good.
I like that a lot.
I hope it works out for Poppy and her new family.
Oh yeah.
That is so good. Poppy is so cute. I'll put a picture in the podcast for you guys so you can see her.
Oh yeah, she's very sweet.
Very, very, very cute.
Sweet lady.
Mm-hmm. All right. The last question we had for you is from Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Dania Omar, I think I said your name right. I'm sorry if I didn't. Dania wanted to know, who is the sweetest cat in your opinion?
Oh gosh.
I know it's a hard one. There's a lot of sweet cats.
I mean,
just choose your favorite sweet cat.
I mean, I can probably give you one from each one of our rooms because
okay,
I don't have one singular. So starting out in our main lobby area where you first walk in, sign in and everything.
Yes.
I would have to say is Dewey.
Dewey,
who is laying right here in between us, being a sweet boy.
He's so cute.
Moving on to our main lobby area, our shelter lobby area. Well, I mean, there's only one we have in there, really.
But yeah, she's sweet. She's very sweet.
Is a very, very sweet gal. Kind of keeps to herself, but she loves the affection. She loves playing. In the adult room, I would say Butterscotch. I love Butterscotch.
But is she sweet?
She's very, very sweet.
Don't. He's biting my mic, guys.
But yes, Butterscotch is very sweet. Right now, FIV room, I would say Jenkins.
Jenkins
is very sweet. He's a very, very sweet boy.
He's purring right in the mic. I don't know if you guys can hear that.
Let's hope it doesn't take over.
I know, just loud purring.
And then moving on to our teen room, I would say right now, maybe Pedro.
Oh, he's so sweet.
Pedro's a sweet boy.
Those are good choices.
Hold on.
Wait.
It's a toss-up between Pedro or Ford.
Oh, I think Ford wins that one.
Ford is super great.
Ford likes to be held like a baby.
Yeah.
He is a baby.
Whenever, because he was at PetSmart this past weekend,
Nice.
And then I would be cleaning out the cages and everything.
I'm so surprised he's still here. He's so personable.
There would be people like looking like into Ford's cage whenever I was like cleaning and everything.
Yeah.
And then I would kind of just stop cleaning for a second, and then I would kind of just let him hop up onto my like shoulder and let him sit like a baby, and I could see people's reaction like, oh, you know.
Take him home.
But no, he's back here now. But we're pretty sure. I have a feeling this week is going to be the week that he's...
I think so too. Let's call it.
Going to go.
This week, Ford's going to go home, guys.
So just sweet boy.
Hopefully, whenever you hear this, he's already been adopted. So this will be posted on Monday. We told you guys last week. We filmed this on Wednesdays. So hopefully this weekend, by the time you're hearing this, Ford has gone home.
Oh, yeah.
But we're calling it now. We're being future predictors.
Crossing our fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Knocking on wood.
Is there anything else you want to share with the people about adoption or the cattery or your experience as an adoption counselor?
I mean, being an adoption counselor, I mean, of course, it's a lot of fun. You get to experience the cats. You get to enjoy them, their company. of course, like Katie said before, there's the bittersweet moments of you can have a real nice bond with a cat. But of course, we're here to adopt them out.
Exactly.
We are here to find them their forever home.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, everyone here at the cattery wants to adopt all of them and keep them all for ourselves.
I have a list. I have a whole list.
Really just trying to get to know a person, connect with them, see their experiences with cats, and really just
try to make a good match.
Yeah.
It's almost like being a matchmaker.
Matchmaker.
Exactly. Just trying to find these people and these cats, who are meant for each other.
Yeah.
The cattery also supports adopters after adoption.
Oh, yeah.
So that's something that we do as well. I feel like as an adoption counselor, you're setting up that relationship with that person and that adopter and that cat. Oh, excuse me.
Bless you. Yeah, this isn't some one-off transaction and then you go about the rest of your life. No.
Yeah, we're trying to set up a connection, a healthy relationship. You guys feel comfortable contacting us if you have questions or concerns about your cat. Even if it's years down the line, we've had people who have contacted us about their cats who they adopted from us.
Oh, yeah.
And they end up, we end up being able to help them. So that's really the whole goal, I think, of the adoption counselor is to just be that liaison between the adopter and the cattery. It's almost like you guys are the bridge.
Yeah. I was even at PetSmart, and then I think it was Sunday, there was a lady there who adopted a cat named Nico. He was an orange and white cat.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm thinking of
it was a girl who adopted Nico, who was an orange and white cat.
Oh.
Because
actually,
the cat that she had before
yeah.
was named Nico and an orange and white cat.
Really?
Yeah. It was really weird.
Wait, this was recent.
She said it was back in March.
Yep, it was recent. I remember her now.
Yeah.
Yep.
She adopted him, like I said, back in March. Yeah. Oh, she showed me pictures and everything.
Oh, I love that.
And I even told her, I'm like, oh, hey, we love updates. Yes. We love update stories and everything.
We do. We post every week.
And I told her, hey, email us and let us know, hey, I adopted Nico back in March. And then send us the update pictures. But we love having that kind of connection with the people who adopt cats out. And coming back to us or reaching out back to us. And they're like, hey, this is how they're doing.
Yeah, it's so great. And the lives, we have people who show up who have adopted like years ago even. Like, oh, I adopted so-and-so in 2017. It's like, oh my gosh, hi. So yeah, it's really great. It's all about setting up that relationship. But yeah, I think is that it? Does that wrap it up?
I feel like it does.
Cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning into our podcast this week. Richard, thank you for being here.
Of course, always.
Next week, Sam will be back. We'll talk about something else. But if you like our podcast, guys, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, share. Ask us questions if you have any questions or you want our opinion on something. We're here to talk to you and talk about whatever you want us to talk about.
Always here, always open.
That's right, guys. All right, have a great week, and we will see you next Monday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.